Alright, I want to go ahead and begin discussing point slope form. Basically what point slope form is, when you have a point and a slope, we can use the equation y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Right? So what I can go ahead and replace is this y1 and this x1 and also this m if I'm given the information. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at a few examples. I have number one. Let's say that I have a point, not 1/2, 1 comma 2, and your slope m is equal to 3. Okay, and I want to write this in point slope form and only point slope form. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. Again, I'm going to replace the y1 and the x1 in the slope. Okay, so let's take a look at this particular point. I'm going to label that x1, y1. Oops, sorry. And then here's my slope. Okay, so plug it into the equation. So I have y minus my y1, which is 2, is equal to the m, which is 3, times the quantity x minus your x1, which is just 1, right? Oop. So this is it. It's in point slope form. Do I need to simplify this any further? No. All right. Let's take a look at number 2. We're going to go ahead and go back to this later. I want to convert this into slope-intercept form when we get there. Number 2, I have -3 comma -1. And then your slope is m is equal to -4/3. Okay, again, I'm going to go ahead and use this equation because that's point slope, right? And I do have a point and a slope. So let's go ahead and write the equation again. Y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. Okay, I am only going to be replacing the y1 and the x1 as well as the slope. So y minus... Okay, so this is x1, this is y1, and this is my slope. My y1 in this case is -1, so I need to put parentheses after the negative sign, y minus -1. And a lot of students make the mistake of writing y minus 1 instead of y minus -1. Okay, you cannot put y minus 1, it's not the same thing. Okay, so after that I have my slope, which is -4/3. And then I multiply that with this whole quantity here, x minus -3. Okay, now I'm not done here. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this because I see it a negative times a negative and another negative times a negative. I need to simplify that and make that look nice. So I have y plus 1 equals -4/3 times x plus 3. Okay, and that's it. That is point slope form. Okay, so let's go ahead and convert these into slope-intercept form. Okay, so if I have, so this is just 1, right? Here's 1. I have y minus 2 equals 3 times the quantity x minus 1. So how do I convert this into slope-intercept form? Well, let's go ahead and recall what slope-intercept form is. It's y equals mx plus b. Okay, so I take this 3 because it's in front of this whole quantity here, in front of this whole parentheses. I got to use the distributive property. So I have y minus 2 equals 3x minus 3, and then I can get y by itself because this is slope-intercept form. Y is by itself already, so I'm going to add both sides by 2. And what am I left with? I'm left with y equals 3x minus 1. This is slope-intercept form. So I'm converting from point slope form to slope-intercept form. Okay? Alrighty. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. This is my point slope form. I want to convert that into slope-intercept form. So I have y plus 1 equals negative 4/3 times x plus 3. Since I have a number in front of the parentheses, I got to use the distributive property. So I have y plus 1 equals negative 4/3 x. And then here, negative 4/3 times 3. So if I write that on the side over here, negative 4/3 times 3, well, let me tell you, negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. So the numerator, negative 12, divided by this 3 here, is going to give me what? Negative 4. Okay? So I can just cancel those out. So that's going to be negative 4 right there. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to go ahead and do, again, I need to get y by itself because y equals mx plus b. Y is by itself here. So, subtract both sides by 1. I'm left with what? Y equals negative 4/3 x minus 5. Okay? I'm starting negative and I'm subtracting. That means I'm going to get more negative. And if you're having troubles with that, use your calculator. Okay? Use your calculator. Okay. And that's it. That's me converting from point-slope form to slope-intercept form. Okay. Let's go ahead and do one more problem, but this time I'm given 2 points, 6, negative 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so I need to convert this into slope-intercept form. I need to write an equation that passes through these 2 points here, and that means I need to get that in slope-intercept form. So how do I do that? Well, I have these 2 points, and we know that, slope-intercept form has to have a slope, right? But I don't have a slope here, so I need to find the slope with these 2 given points. And we know how to do that, and that's just simply this formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that means that I'm dealing with 2 points. We know this is an x, we know that is an x, we know this is a y and that is a y, but I have to differentiate them. So I will call this x, the first x, x1. And this is going to be my first y, so I'll call that y1. And then over here, that's going to be x2, and this is y2. Okay? So use your formula. Be careful. Don't just assume, hey, I can do 4 minus 2 and neglect that this is actually, in fact, 4 minus negative 2. Okay, there's a difference between the two. Use the formula, follow along with it. Don't make that mistake. A lot of algebra students make that mistake. So what do I have? I have a y2 here, so I put 4. And then I have a minus sign there, so I put a minus sign here. And then my y1 is negative 2. Okay, which is all over. Well, what do I have? My x2 in this case is 3. And then I have a minus sign here, so I put a minus sign there. And then my x1 is just 6. Oops, sorry. So it's just 6. Okay. So, gotta go ahead and just simplify this. Well, 4 minus negative 2, that's going to be 4 plus 2. So that's 6. And then 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Well, I'm not done here yet. I gotta simplify that. So that's going to be what? Negative 2. Okay. So what does that mean? My slope is negative 2. And how do I get this into slope-intercept form? Well, I have a slope and I have these 2 points here. Remember, we were talking about point-slope form. What you can do here is you can choose any point that you want, and it doesn't matter. You'll still get the same answer. What I want to go ahead and use, I'm going to go ahead and use this point here, because why not? It doesn't matter which point you use. You're still going to get the same answer if you choose this point here. So my point is going to be 3, 4. Okay? So let's go ahead and use the point-slope formula, point-slope form equation, because I have a what? A point and a slope. So I have y minus 4, right? This is my y1. I'm going to replace y1 with 4, which is equal to my slope, negative 2, times the quantity x minus 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and just use the distributive property. So I have y minus 4 is equal to negative 2x plus 6. I'm going to add both sides by 4, and I'm left with y equals negative 2x plus 10. And that's what I do. That's what I do when I have 2 points here, and I need to figure out my slope. I got to figure out what point I'm going to use. I'm going to use point and slope form and then convert that into slope-intercept form, which is exactly what I did here.